Hey Preneurs, it's Bruce from Printavo. Really excited to talk about hiring today, all the challenges, the data behind it, what the heck is happening, when will it change, when may it change, will it change? It's just a lot of stuff. Let's jump in here. I've done a ton of different research that I want to be able to share with everybody here that I think can help. And then I've got a bunch of different ideas as well to help you to be able to hire as well. Now, what I find fascinating about this is at Printavo, we're a growing team. Our biggest hiring needs are in engineering and on product. And with that said, we have always done outreach and different things to be able to attract people to come in. We could never really be able to post a job posting and generally expect people to come in. It happens, but fairly rarely. And so with that said, that may be some of the shift that we're seeing here, but let's dive in. So as everybody knows, it's just harder to hire. Job postings just don't get very much play. Now, what's very interesting, though, is that you can see that our labor force generally is about 165 million people. Those are people that are able, that are looking for work and or are working. Now, what happened, though, is that our labor force, so the potential pool of people that are looking, has actually shrunk. It's smaller by about 3.5 million people. Now it's slowly ticking back up, but it is very slow. And so that's roughly about 2% on average. Now, what's also interesting on top of that is that certain industries have been changed more drastically, of course, than others. And then lastly, the other thing that we found is that so many people just have changed their views on their roles and their job and life. Childcare is different. They may have parents at home. Just everything that they've done day to day has been upended and changed. And that has created a huge effect on employment today here in the US. Okay, so with that said, here is some of the interesting data points that I found and some of my thoughts around the summary of what it all means. So data, early data here over the last 2 months is showing that as benefits roll off, of which there are 12 states that have ended benefits early, data is showing that there are little to no changes in job applications on websites. Now, a lot of this data is coming from Indeed.com. They've got a beautiful blog, actually, that you guys can check out if you want to read more, called Hiring Lab. I thought it's really cool to read, but there is just very little change. And this is fascinating, right? Because we constantly think about, the benefits roll off, then people want to search for work again, and they get back on because they're making more at home. Well, that isn't the case actually yet. Now, maybe this will change in the future, but today it is not. 21% of unemployment workers were temporarily laid off. The reason I bring that up is also the job statistics may be slightly misleading, and that a fair amount of people have plans to go back to the same role as the companies start to bring them on. Now, according to CNBC via Indeed as well, the 12 states as of mid-June ended the benefits early, have not seen those jump in applications. They did see a short 5-day increase in people searching for jobs. That was only 5% though. That's it. So you can see the chart here actually that has this flat line activity. That is really what's happening as those employment benefits roll off. Now, again, there are some thoughts that, hey, maybe we're thinking about this too fast. It takes more than a couple months. Maybe there's childcare involved. Kids go back to school in the fall potentially. Maybe it takes a couple more months to actually normalize. But so far, it is not a snapback that we had been thinking about. Now, here's an interesting quote here. This was a study that was done by JP Morgan Chase and University of Chicago, and they're saying that simple job search models that predicted that sharp decline in search in the wake of huge new benefits to keep people safe and at home or just having money coming in, followed by a sustained rebound when those benefits expired, is very short-lived. It's the exact same thing that they're seeing in Indeed, that 5% bump and then it flatlining again. They're instead finding that the job finding rate is actually stable, as in it isn't changing much from the benefit shift. Here's another interesting piece too, in that the keywords used in a lot of the job postings are drastically different. So first of all, here's a general chart of the job postings over this past period of time that you guys can be able to see. Obviously, there are almost 40% more than the baseline, and that's a lot more job postings. That's a lot more. Here's a chart, though, of the postings with the keyword remote in it. So as you can see here, a ton more as well. So as people have shifted their lives and everything is different, people's needs probably also shift too, as far as what they're thinking about and what do they want. So this is all very fascinating. And again, there's a huge preface that we do need more data. We do need more time. It's only been about 2 months, and we'll see going into the fall and into the winter if things do start to snap back or not. What I think is most important, and this totally depends on your needs as a business, is twofold. Number one, if you have less people, I would highly recommend being able to be okay with less people. What does that mean? Maybe that means increasing prices. Maybe that means getting more efficient. Maybe that means hiring VAs to take things off of your plate. Rethinking about the business, turning down jobs that probably aren't profitable, that are just running your press, rethinking what it means to be smaller and being more efficient and doing it better there. Now, let's say that you do absolutely need more people. What can you do? Here's 10 different ideas I want to talk to you guys about that I've seen and collected. Number one is press. Press releases are really good and work really well. How can you attract your local newspaper, local television station, local blog to whatever you're doing? Maybe this is a free print day. Maybe this is an interesting metric that you hit, a sales metric or a hiring metric, or just something cool that's very community based and that's unique that would want to be covered. And then once you've got that planned, reach out to those media outlets, tell them about it, and execute, do a really great job, but continue to foster those relationships because you can lean on those press related people later. Another one, of course, people talk about is obviously increasing pay, but I think what's more interesting than that is actually potential bonuses for retention, keeping people on board, something to test as well. Of course, referrals are huge. People tend to refer people that they like, that fit in with the culture. If they care about the company, they also want to find a similar A player to your business. Pay for those referrals, a couple $1,000s even. Think about the amount of time that you may be using to search for people, or that the opportunity costs that you're losing of those sales that you can't actually process because of those issues. It could be worth quite a bit. So raise the ante, see how that goes. And Alenia Restaurants here in Chicago, a restaurant group, actually hosted a job fair to try. So they posted it, they went to the media, and they used it to help get people in the door to do rapid fire interviews. And they spent a day, they closed everything down, and they were just rapid fire interviews. And they were giving people a test run for a month to say, if you work out, we'd love to keep you and extend an offer. If not, we'll part ways as well. Another important one is a perk. There's a lot of different perks that, of course, you can look into. One is 4-day work week. We've talked to a lot of shops who have shifted to 4-day work week because it helps give some additional flexibility on Friday if they do have to run additional jobs for overtime for folks. Employees tend to like it because if they have to commute far, they don't. They only have to do 4 days a week instead of 5. And general, just things are moving. The momentum is moving a lot more. You don't have to totally stop and start again on the 5th day. So you can run 4 longer days instead of the 5. The other perks, obviously AC, better fans, that big ass fan that you'll see at the it's called Big Ass Fan, that's in the top of warehouses, lunches maybe on Fridays, PTO, some sort of healthcare, things like that you can help up the ante, that can bring in the right people too, not just general applications. You want the right people. There's a really good Gary Vaynerchuk quote that I like a lot, that is, hiring is a guess, firing is you being sure. So take that as you need. Fire fast, firing sucks. I think we all have examples of keeping people on too long, but you are sure when you're fired because you get rid of that person. You've tried it out. It didn't work. You tried to train, you tried to coach, you tried to mentor. They just don't have the aptitude to be able to compete at your level. Get rid of them and move on. also think about people as an investment, really rethinking it as not just a cog to get things going, like a piece of equipment. People are more important than the equipment. People are what's going to grow your business, not equipment. People are what's going to think about things, are going to keep things running when you're not there. They're going to be able to keep things moving and be able to build your business the way you want, the right ones, of course. And so it's a big mind shift as far as how to then think about that as an investment in your business. Hopefully that was helpful. We're hoping, of course, that things swing back. A lot more states are rolling off benefits by early September. So hopefully people do see the effects of that or later in the year. Fingers crossed. But if not, let's use this to get smart. Let's use this to find the right people and a better hiring tactic to get the best people in the door. Thanks, guys. Again, I'm Bruce from Printavo. If you found tricks or issues or just general comments about this, leave them down below. Love to be able to learn about pain points you're having or things that you have found that have worked. Good luck, guys. Let's have a great week.